Yo and hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Legends Never Die. I am Jake, and I just wanted to pay an homage to Mike, Baseball Collector, there with his intro before I get started. He ran the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame for 4 years, and I'm honored that he has bestowed the mantle upon me to continue what he started. It is one of my favorite events of the year for the community. It's something fun for us to do, something that brings us together, and something that allows many of us to discover other channels that we may come to love that we may not have otherwise. So, both for those of you that are familiar with the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame and those that are new to it, thank you for continuing to support me in this endeavor as I carry on. I hope to serve the community with honor and integrity in this role going forward. I do have a few changes, though, that are new. Mike said this is my baby now, and I'm going to treat it that way. I'm a huge Hall of Fame buff, the Real Baseball Hall of Fame, of their process. I track it along with the tracker, just like I know many big Hall of Fame fans do, read many books on it. And a lot of my inspiration for my changes came from their process. Because if you agree with the Baseball Hall of Fame and how they go about things, or they don't, regardless, it's easily the most interesting and most entertaining voting process there is amongst the major sports. So the first thing that I want to say that I'm changing, number one, I will not be casting a vote. All of the commissioners of baseball, whether you knew this or not, do not have a vote in any capacity, neither on the writers' ballots or on the era ballot committees, for them to vote on who is or isn't a Hall of Famer. So I will not be casting a ballot. I don't intend or plan to try to influence anyone's ballot. If you really want to know what I think about the Hall of Fame voting process, go look at my older videos. I've voted every year, and I'm not going to take them down. But as your commissioner, I'm not going to cast a vote. The second thing that I'm adopting from the Real Baseball Hall of Fame process is this. In order to vote for the Real Baseball Hall of Fame, you have to serve an accredited newspaper or website for 10 years associated with the BBWAA in order to be able to cast a vote. So there's a level of experience that you earn as a writer, an accredited writer that's covering the sport for 10 years in order to be able to vote on the actual Hall of Fame. I'm adopting a similar rule here with the YouTube Sports Cards Hall of Fame, excuse me, that you have had to have been making YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame material content for 1 year. If your first video is not have been uploaded for a year, and I will be checking, you cannot cast a ballot for the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. And the reason I did that, a couple reasons. You know, I played devil's advocate with this kind of stuff. But the main reason is the people that create content understand best what it takes to make content and be a great channel and to consistently put that out. It's not the same from a watcher's perspective, okay? Secondly, not saying that anybody would ever do this, but again, I play devil's advocate and I want to try and keep some ironclad rules on this thing and keep the integrity going. You know, heaven forbid someone make a bunch of fake YouTube accounts that they want to rig this YouTube Hall of Fame, which would be insane. It's a tiny niche. But if you wanted to do that without this rule, in theory, you could. So those are the two reasons I adopted that rule. Next up, another new rule that I'm implementing. Channels that you can vote for, and again, this is the same. You're voting for the channel, not for the person. So example, Nate, Tops 85401. He is a YouTube Hall of Famer already. His channel is in. But so is Baseball Card Junkies TV, which he is a part of. He is on that channel. So you're voting for the channel. So if someone has multiple channels, in theory, they could get in. So I just wanted to point that out. But the second rule change that I was about to mention, for you to vote for any channel, they have had to have been making content for 3 years. Okay, and I will go look to make sure they have a video at least 3 years old that has been uploaded. The reason for that is, with the Real Baseball Hall of Fame, in order to even be considered for the ballot, you have had to have had 10 years of Major League Baseball experience, okay? for better or worse, that helps weed out some of the ones that are obviously less worthy in terms of the real Baseball Hall of Fame. And I decided to adopt that because with the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame, it's hard to do content for 3 years consistently. How many channels have you seen come and go for those of you that have been around in less than 3 years? So that's why I wanted to implement that. And I think the ones that should be honored first are the ones that have been doing a long time at a high level of success. You know, it's the Hall of Fame. It's the Hall of Fame. I mean, come on. So that's my second rule change. Third thing, not really a change, just the timeline so that you guys are aware. I'm releasing this video on January the 17th, 2022. You will have until the end of January to submit your video. Yes, it must be a video ballot. I will not accept any comment-only ballots. Again, I want the content creators who know what it takes to make content a little bit better to be the ones that are more informed, been doing it for at least a year, to cast a ballot on who should be the greatest within our little niche of the hobby. Okay? So it's got to be a video response. Comment, you must comment on this video, not with a link, don't do a link. Comment on this video and say that you have made and submitted a video with your ballot on it, and I will watch it. Once the end of January was over, I may need to take a little time there, a couple days, maybe a week, to finish tabulating everything, but then I'll put together a spreadsheet, and I'll be doing that as I go, of everyone that has voted, who they voted for, and who the top percentage guys are. Now, the next big change. You can vote up to 10 people on your YouTube Hall of Fame ballot, just like the real Baseball Hall of Fame. The real Baseball Hall of Fame uses a percentage. Now, the reason that we don't do that here with the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame is percentage-wise, the ballot could change every year. You know, my requirements are you have had to have been making content for 3 years in order to be eligible for the ballot. That's it. That's the only requirement. So the ballot could grow over time, which means the percentage to get in couldn't be a set threshold. You know, it could be 1,000 channels, it could be 1,000,000 channels, you know, who knows? Now, traditionally, in the first 4 years of the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame, the top 10 got in. Now the top 5 are going to get in. And the reason for that is we've got 40 channels in the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. They're great channels. They're Hall of Famers. They're Hall of Famers for a reason. But I want this thing to have longevity. You know, if we keep putting in 10 channels each year, especially with my new parameters of 3 years, who knows? We could run out quickly. And I want this to continue to be a yearly thing. And it be a true honor. You know, I've always seen it as a big honor. And I look up to all the guys that are already in the Hall of Fame. They're great channels. They're legends for a reason. They got in for a reason. And I want that to continue to be the case. I want it to have mystique. I want it to be an honor and be a big deal. So only the top 5 are going to get in each year now, as long as I'm the commissioner of the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. Okay? And because of that, because I'm cutting it to 5, and, you know, they have to have the 3 years requirements, and now you have to have 1 year experience yourself in order to cast a ballot, I expect there to be a lot closer voting and the potential for ties. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out what my tiebreaker is. My tiebreaker is the person with the most longevity will win a tiebreaker. So let's say that 3 channels tie for 5th place. The one that uploaded their first sports card content video first, before the other 2, will get in. So that's my tiebreaker for that. Last 2 things. These things have not changed from Mike's original rules. There is the Joe Ryan Fan 30 Good Guy Award in honor of a great guy, obviously, and a good channel who passed away a few years ago. That award is voted upon by the existing members of the YouTube Hall of Fame. So they're the only ones that can vote on that. 1 person will get in for that. The other thing, the other award that existing Hall of Famers vote for is the A.R. Falk 77 Lifetime Achievement Award. This is typically awarded to someone who is a YouTube legend who was around for a long time that may not necessarily be doing content now. It's named after AR Falk 77, who is also known as Sevens. He was a legend for a long time, occasionally makes videos now, but not really anymore. So that's kind of along the lines of what that is. So if you're a YouTube Hall of Famer, also include those two things still with your ballot video. Other than that, guys, let's have fun with this. Let's continue to bring the community together. Let's continue to allow great channels to be discovered by many people, both old YouTubers and new YouTubers as well, to find these great channels. And let's honor the ones that we feel like voting for. Happy Hall of Fame season. Until next time, God bless.